She came forward because Lindsay published a statement about the sexual harassment she experienced, and Charlotte went on Twitter and said, if you want to know what it's like to work for the governor, read this story. And journalists followed up and found her, and she determined at that time that she had a responsibility to come forward, largely because the governor tried to discredit Lindsay. And Charlotte knew that he engages in this kind of behavior. He engaged in sexually harassing behavior with her, and she knew that this was a pattern, and she was not willing to stay silent any longer. This seems to be part of his routine, is to act like he needs assistance with the most mundane tasks. For example, servicing his iPhone. Neither this latest victim nor Charlotte were responsible for the governor's phones, and yet he got them in a situation, asked for assistance with the phones, and used that as an opportunity to isolate them and to sexually harass them. And that's what's eerily similar. She's not surprised, and she's very upset that Cuomo's top officials, his chief of staff and special counsel to whom she reported her allegations, never investigated. And had they investigated Charlotte's allegations, perhaps this latest victim would not have been assaulted. I think his chief of staff and his special counsel have significant explaining to do. They have stated publicly that they followed the law, but the law is crystal clear that even if a complainant comes forward and says, I do not want to pursue my complaint, they have a legal obligation to follow the law and ensure that an investigation is done and that there is appropriate remedial action. They cannot simply duck behind the fact that Charlotte said, I am too scared for you to do an investigation. I am confident that the investigation will confirm that he has subjected other women to this kind of behavior. And the governor himself doesn't see anything wrong with it. He continues to say his behavior was fine. And presumably, he thinks that doing this to women is just fine. So I'm confident we're going to hear from more women and that the investigators will confirm that this is a significant pattern. The fact that the governor continues to insist that this behavior is fine is extremely troubling. He says he didn't know he was making women uncomfortable. It's not the obligation of women who are subordinate employees, 40 years his junior, to say, Governor, you're making me uncomfortable. It is his responsibility to follow the law. He passed one of the most protective pieces of law in the United States in the aftermath of the Me Too movement, because he knows that sexual harassment is extremely damaging to women in the workplace. It derails careers, and it derailed Charlotte's in this instance. New York State has mandatory sexual harassment training, and the governor had a legal obligation to take that training. Charlotte Bennett, in an interview on CBS, made clear that she saw someone else take the training for the governor. The governor has denied that, but we have powerful evidence that that in fact is what occurred, and that has to be something that the investigators run to ground. Charlotte Bennett believes that he abused his power. He certainly sexually harassed her and other women, and someone who does not respect women or his employees, even though he knows that it is his legal obligation to do so, he signed these laws into effect, does not deserve to hold the position that he holds. It's that simple. If he doesn't resign and these more women come forward and these allegations get confirmed, as I'm confident they will, there's the impeachment option. If he doesn't go voluntarily, he should go involuntarily. He does not deserve the position he holds.